All right, so today we got a Chevy. It's a 2000. Well, it goes from 97 to 2008, according to the internet. That's the bearings on this vehicle. So we're doing the wheel bearing on it, but I thought it was gonna be easy, like just 3 bolts take off like pretty much every hub bearing, but it's really not. You have to take off the whole spindle, or in this case the whole this doesn't have a spindle because it doesn't have it's like a whole hub, so you have to take off the whole bracket, like everything off, in order to get to one bolt. So you see, you gotta take the brake, the bracket, you gotta take it off. I just take everything off with the caliper, so if I don't take the caliper off, I just take the bracket and the caliper off at the same time. Just put it there, and then that's the bolt. Why did Chevy do that? I don't understand why. I just don't get it. I don't get it. Couldn't they move it like a little bit more to the side? No, they had to put it right there where the ball joint is at. All right, so we gotta take that off. That's your tie rod, your auto tie rod. This one was kind of loose, so it just popped right off. I didn't hit it or use anything to take it off. But you could hit it with a hammer, like hit that knuckle part of where it bolts onto. Gotta take off that upper ball joint, and that's 18 mil on the top. And then you gotta lift it up in order to give it room for it to pop off, because right there is giving pressure down to the lower control arm, to the upper control arm. When you lift up the lower control arm, now you have enough room to push that one down and take that off. You'll see, you gotta push it a little bit more. There you go, comes right off. I mean, good thing about Chevy, what they did with this was that everything is pretty much aluminum. So it's light, it's not heavy. It's like, you don't gotta worry about coming off and falling and hitting your toe or your feet or whatever, because it's really light. Then we're working on taking off that lower control arm. The lower ball joint. Take it off. Came off pretty easy, And then right here, you gotta hit it and bang it. So what I did was that I hit it, man. I do old school. I'm not really into all that fancy tool stuff that they use nowadays. It worked 30 years ago, and still working today. So, there's no damage to the ball joint. There's no damage to the knuckle. I mean, it's metal. So take it off. You put that on. You take off those. So that right there, those are the bolts for the actual bearing, and they're Torx. So I forgot it. I didn't even know what Torx I used. I just got it and it fit. So they got Loctite on it, so you got to do it by hand first, and then use a power tool if you're going to use the one. Because the Loctite doesn't let the power tool break it loose. And you see I'm using my ratchet there because it was still kind of hard to take off with that power tool. It wouldn't break loose. Right there, I'm working on putting the new one on. I already took the old one off. Straightforward after that. It's pretty much straightforward. And then get the new one. Put the new one back on. And that's it. and then just tighten them up to specs. I don't use a torque wrench. I do everything by feel. I've been doing it a long time already, so it's like I have a torque wrench in my hand. So I just go ahead and put everything back on. Simple process. It's just that bolt, that Torx bolt, that you gotta take off that whole piece in order to get that one bolt off, which I don't understand why they did that. That's like, makes no sense at all. They could have done differently, but I don't know. Makes no sense, but hey, it is what it is. I put it back on and I'm just tying them up a little bit. I mean, obviously you're not gonna be able to over tighten them because it's really hard to really over tighten them because those things are hard. So just tighten them up, make sure you put a little bit of force on it. And that's it. Put it back on. That's that little screw, that little nut, that little bolt. And that's it, you're done. Put everything back the same way you took it off.